Which sort of brings us to Jeffries today, Jim.
Morgan Stanley, all over those World Economic Forum meetings, they pushing hard on the 80% of the middle aggregate contracts doesn't move at the fast speed EV or ultraviolet blacklight stocks, because that's going to tell you all about some inversions on the real estate, its property design, its geometry, or of course the geometry of the house with timelines of real estates that correlate to the inversion of how timelines would work. If it was a Hillbilly Spinner Factory, if it was eBay, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs.
In some parts, the economy is just ill.
They have fell quite away from the timber saw case as far as logging is around here about not only what it is, what we'll have to do to a certain degree about big ones are going to take all the big sites, which they actually need to do the middle lot and have the middle management actually take care of the large entities, and smalls kind of pick through the smalls, grind through it. That should be an aggregate of just the mountages of the middle aggregate having good contracts instead of the marginally risky ones where the larger one, the banks. So I don't expect Jim to have made that decision. He's going to call, I can't make the formation off the Airbnb. I'm just MTF, Eagle. I could come down there. I'm not necessarily in charge of those contracts or the whole staff in general. And, you know, what deals the thing? You listen to him, come on here, tell you that this is the number, this is a bear bounce and a rally. I'll take you through incidents. And of course, Peacock is all we have to do. We just go to this. And if you didn't fully understand, the review was shaking hands with danger there of all those bunnies calling things, Peacock players, tapping them on them, peak to trough here, about the voltage, volatility in some of these things. You really understand why that contract was so risky given the entropy of those scalar fields. Or when we get into, let me do it here. Oh, not gonna let me do it. I was going to do small business from Bloomberg's here. I don't know if it'll still let me. Well, we could take on this. We're starting to see inflation expectation. So again, you're getting better with Hubble's tensors and the Christopherson symbols, or you've learned this new science or technology in some way, which gets us back to old Morgan Stanley's institution, their new models of Gresham's law, not just Warren Buffett not sucking it all up, but the expansive nature of the learning curve and the tech curve that goes into what we did here. So we made some problems with fine tech. Even though it seems sustainable, it's more of a tether situation at checking your bungee cords and your chute straps, right? Because if those fundamental practices weren't really precise to the stacking over time today, yes, the 2-year swing on those things, but it's obviously horse crap if you were working for Tether and still you come off on the spin of up, down, up, down, up, and down as far as relative positions. That thing is down. You sound real happy. The photons that you emit inside here, but when posed with information and grammatics in some case, I can't really guarantee that I'm flapping my gums. I can't really hear what she's saying. But right now, the probability is so high that it'll either do that, or right at this moment, caught the knife, we might be at the bottom of something. They'll still hit again, but overall, you know, you're up, down. She's been on the down. Been on the down hard. Right now, we're creeping on the way out, so you got to go down, up before you go up, down to get to up. And that's that operating procedure in here. We're talking about Hubble's tensor, what has he got there? Christopherson symbol on Ricci's tensor, or Minkowskian space. Here in this classroom, the photon would change to delta, or whatever value would economically be. You know, here I'm covering a lot of fields, not just economics, as it, because Gresham's law, Hubble with economics. I mean, it's more precise. You can do more with it comparatively to just working for NASA or building an optic lens. Computer, blockchain, the optics, given high and low on energy states, is diagrams by certain fundamentals. But you'll get to the diagrams on the mountain that are actually the Feynman diagrams of the fuzz between sites and cyclicals of probability and Heisenberg. If you did not put that to the table, you will not win the calculation. Somebody will, because that's the nature of finding this problem. We're dealing with the heat, not fully understanding the subject matter of the timeline of why it wasn't supposed to be all sunshine and butterflies today when there's so much risk inside of the system.
if you were
And
to
you
say
couldn't say
to
it. And of
your
course,
clients, the
monotone
people who
across
are
the
asking
board,
you
your
about how
monopole list is going to say
positioning should
surgeon's going to think with a
looked
surgeon
after
hand,
in
obviously
terms
cut
of
it
this
off
kind
or
of a
sew a new one back
situation,
on.
what exactly do you do?
But
We've
that
seen a
doesn't
lot of
correlate to
moves
the
geared towards
overall
things like
Hubbles
utilities and
or
consumer staples,
Lagrangian,
despite
whatever.
the fact
Whoever
you have
come out
rising
with some
interest rates that
tensor
erode the
inside of there,
power of
which
some
might
of
be
those
great.
dividend payments.
Chemistry
Why the defensive
is
tilt, and is it
physics. If
justified?
Mars and Earth and oxygen,
Yeah, well, I mean,
you get the bends.
it's something
Some
I
area
mentioned
under the
earlier, and I'm going
curve
to
where
keep
you're
on
buried.
mentioning it because
And
what we've seen is a
if the
massive
infinity
disruption
rips
in
like
terms-
that, because
a
I can't
massive
necessarily say,
valuation
well, here's
change, right?
the classical
egregious era,
convention, or
very,
I've
very
changed
rich
something like
multiples.
Hubble in such
That's
a way
what-
that you
that's
can
what- to a certain
visibly
extent, that's
observe it,
what
or at
the
least
Fed was
run
trying
this
to achieve.
experimental
So we've
criteria
lost
over again
three
for
key
today,
points in
or
terms
why
of
today
valuation.
on trajectories
What-
has to
what
be what it
market
is here to
participants, what
maintain
asset
stability
managers need to
before
look at now
that
is
thing
the E
reduces a
of
slide.
the
Now,
PE,
yes, the
because
overall
that can be
market
very,
is
very
going to
misleading.
carry a
You can look at
base wave
stocks which
inside
appear
of there
very, very
based on what it
attractive
is.
because there's
Before you
three
even
key
deal
points
with the rest of the
essentially
things in the
vanished.
universe
But
out
is
there
that
that might cause a
realistic?
quantitative
Is that
tightening
sustainable?
given
We
the
started to see
collapse
S&P come
of
in,
a
but we
supernova.
have to
Everything
sort of
just
see
doesn't
more
rip
and more
away.
evidence
Remember,
of
there's a
which
point
companies
inside of
are
there
able
where
to
some of
truly
those things
generate
are
the
going
cash
to act
flow
differently.
to support the
There
businesses and
are
which
eight
ones
type
simply
supernovas,
aren't.
which may have vast differences between them under
It's just
sectors,
3
but they would
words,
still apply a
but
very
they tell you
generalized Hubble
everything
tensor.
you need to know.
Still practical, you
Not
still
everyone can
need
say that.
that variance, and in
But we
economics,
can.
whatever economics
Made
teacher is about to
in
parallel the same way I'm
America.
flapping my gums in here,
Real
please
steel.
listen.